Hello students, hope you all are doing good. Today we are going to start with our chapter number 9 of civics, that is social justice and the marginalized. Here in this chapter we will be getting to know more about it, what are the actions that are taken for these marginalized people by the government and what considerations are kept into mind for these people and what were the steps taken by them. Marginalization. Marginalization refers to the treatment of a person or group as of less value than others, as thus not deserving to be a part of the main sections of the society. Means not treating the person as equal as of other persons and as giving the respect as you give to the others and not giving to the person who is marginalized, then that particular thing is known as marginalization. When a person or group speaks a different language or follows different customs and religion than others and is consequently treated unfairly than others and denied rights and opportunities available to others, inequality prevails in the society. Means when we do not give the same rights, when we do not respect the person if he or she is belonging to a particular or different community, different language, or he speaks different language or has different color or is of different gender, then in that case that particular thing is considered to be a marginalized. This leads to the marginalized stature of the victim of the discriminatory treatment. In this way they get discriminated. In India, the marginalized sections include the members of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes and minorities, along with women as well, because these are the caste systems that are prevailing in India, and they actually suffer a lot because of their name. The marginalization of these sections has resulted in the unequal social and economic status in the society. Means as they just because of their status and just because of their name, these people are not considered to be a equal part of our society, and which is something which is not good, and this is something which has to be changed. Social inequalities. Social inequalities in our country stemmed from the caste system. Means this thing came out of our caste system. The caste system divided the society into an irreversible hierarchical arrangement of occupations. Means it just divided our society into this segment which cannot be reversed back, and social positions. The people who were placed at the base of this hierarchy were forced to take up menial jobs. Means the people who were there at the lowest ladder were forced to do the petty jobs that they never wanted to do. And then if they did the work, then they were called as untouchables or menial workers, and that's why they were not given the respect that they always deserved. They were denied access to the resources, education, employment, and healthcare, as they were not even allowed to be a part of any temple. They were not even allowed to go to temples and not even allowed to move to any other part and not even allowed to be a part of any function. So these were the small things that actually were there when they got criticized, and as a result they remained the victims of exploitation and discrimination, and they often had to face social outcasts in various forms, such as denied access to public places and public facilities. They were not allowed to use all of that. The prolonged discrimination of these groups led to their backwardness and weak economic stature, and like because of this they just became very weak people and just got at the lowest in the last ladder of the caste system. Discrimination has always been faced by the women and tribal groups of our country for long. Like it's a kind of process which has been prevailing in our country since very long. While the tribal groups have been kept at the periphery of the society due to their unique culture and practices, women have been the victims of superstitions, lack of education, and denial of basic human rights. And if the one place, like if they always respected man and gave them new opportunities, on the second hand, they never respected women's and always told them to do the work, and always kept them unaware of their education systems and all, and always got them married earlier. So these were the small things, not small things, these were the very big things that actually caused a lot of problem in our society. And they were also subjected to evil social practices such as parda system, sati system, and dowry. These were another evil practices which were still prevailing, which prevailed in that time. The birth of a girl child was considered as a burden on the family. That's why they used to kill the girls even just right immediately after birth. Girls were often married off at a very young age and did not have any say in the choice of their husbands. Widows were seen as signs of ill luck in auspicious ceremonies and were not allowed to remarry. Means neither they allowed widows to remarry nor they allowed them to attend any function, because they used to consider them as a very ill gesture and as a kind of evil personality, because of which they really suffered a lot. Next comes economic inequalities. The unequal social status of the marginalized sections also extended to their economic capabilities. The caste system denied the people the right to choose their occupation. Means they were not, even people were not allowed to choose any occupation. They were forced to do the work by the higher caste people and the higher rich people. They were also paid very little or no amount for the work they do, and they were even not paid very good amount for the work they did. Similarly, the tribals were economically exploited by the British, and the same was with tribals and with Britishers as well. Their land was taken away by the colonial government for its own interest. Women were also completely dependent on their male counterparts of economic stability. At the time when Britishers were there, even women were not allowed to do the work. That's why they had to completely depend on their male husbands, and they were restricted to domestic chores, and which were also seen as the less of value than the work done by the males. Also, they did not have any right to inherit property, and at the time, like, people were not even allowed to move here and there. They were not allowed to have any property, and because of that, they were very much forced to to do the work which was given to them by the Britishers. And as a result, these sections actually reserved a lot of poverty, malnutrition, and lack of access to basic facilities such as healthcare and education. Because of them, they really suffered a lot. Next comes the Constitution of India and social justice. The framers of the Constitution of India were well aware of the inequalities present in the country. They were very much knowing about what were the activities, what were the social and evil activities that actually existed at the time. That's why they just framed the law as per the needs of the people and keeping everything into consideration. Thus, while framing the supreme law of the land, they took utmost care to eradicate the social inequalities and secure social, economic, and political justice to the people. And while making the law, they just made sure that yes, they will be going everything in further considerations and political justice to the people. Some of the provisions that ensure social and economic equality to the marginalized sections of the societies are as follows. Means some laws and rules were made, and they are as follows: right to equality that abolishes untouchability and prohibits discrimination on the ground of caste, class, gender, religion, place of birth, etc. Means right to equality was made, and at a time, like, people cannot discriminate people on the basis of their caste, class, gender, sex, religion, place of birth, or any other thing. And that's why they were considered as kind of things that right to equality had. Cultural and educational rights that protect and nurture the unique culture and practice of certain groups. Means cultural and educational rights were given to all their children because it was a mandatory thing to go to school at the time. Implementation of the provisions of the Constitution of India. Let's see. In order to give effect to the provisions of the Constitution of India, the Government of India has introduced various measures aimed at the upliftment of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other marginalized section of the society. Means to look and consider the welfare of the people. They actually considered a lot of things which basically focused on so many good things, and that's why they consider as one of the good gestural thing. Upliftment of the scheduled caste. Seats have been reserved for the scheduled caste in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies to foster their political participation. Means seats were given to the scheduled caste so that the people and the candidates can stand in the elections and can have the chance and can get the chance to win their parties and elections. Concessions, scholarships, and reservations have been provided to them in the educational institutions. Means some sort of guarantee or some sort of concession will be given to them in the field of education system and other theoretical things. Employment opportunities have been reserved for them in the government and semi-government offices. Means they will be given some sort of seats will be fixed for them in the considerations of government and semi-governmental offices. Untouchability has been abolished and all public places have been thrown open to all. And like if anybody is is found practicing, then of course they will be punished. And like till the time, it was very much open to all and there was no untouchability. Acts such as Prevention of Atrocities Act have been introduced to eradicate the exploitative practice against them. And there was an act which was known as Atrocities Act, because of which they did it helped them to easily remove the exploitative practices which were practiced against them. Next comes upliftment of the scheduled tribes. Various efforts are being made to encourage education and improve the standard of living of the tribals. Tribals were the group of people who used to live in forest. Seats have been reserved for them in the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies to allow them to voice their opinions in the decision making process. And some seats for them are also reserved, and advisory committees have been set up to monitor welfare and suggest measures for the development of the tribals. And some communities have been set up so that they can keep an eye on the welfare of the tribals, so that because they are also a major part of our culture and heritage. Voluntary organizations that aim at developing the skills of tribals have also been aided by the government, and some funding by the government has also been done so that they can keep and they can provide some extra care, health care to the tribals and the groups existing in the forest and other areas. Upliftment of women. Various schemes such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao have been introduced to promote the education of girls. And incentives and concessions. Incentives means extra rewards have been given to the families of girls to help them save for their daughters. Means if they will be saving their daughters, then somehow they will be given some sort of money as well, so that they don't consider their daughters as a burden. Employment of women has been encouraged by the government by providing support to women entrepreneurs and self-help groups, that is SHG. And women also work these days as a very open-minded kind of society, because yes, they have the tendency to work. Maternity benefit scheme and creche schemes have been put into place to allow mothers to balance their responsibilities at work and home, as like these kind of leaves have been provided to the mothers so that they can keep an eye on their children as well as they can keep eye on their work as well, because it's very important for a lady, especially a mother, to manage both the office as well as the home. That's why they have been given some special leaves, that is called maternity leave. The National Commission for Women, the State Commission for Women, and women helplines have been established to deal with the violence against women inside the outside their homes. Means some helplines have been set up so that if any woman feels like that she has been beaten or she has become a part of some sort of domestic violence, then she can definitely call at the particular helpline number anytime or any day. However, despite introducing various schemes and spending a big fortune on them, means a big amount on them, a lot is yet to be achieved in our country. Still, a lot of things are going not going in the right direction, so we really need to work on them. For example, through the practice of untouchability has been more or less eradicated from the urban areas, it is still prevalent in rural areas, as like in urban areas, in cities we don't see much of these kind of activities, but yes, in rural areas still such kind of evil practices are still being practiced. Thus it is not until we supplement to the government schemes and measures that equality can be established in our society, and it's our duty to work until and unless we don't achieve the final result of eradicating such kind of evil practices which have existed and which have been existing in our society since last so many years. So it's our duty. Thank you so much, students. I hope you all paid attention well, and I hope you all understood the concepts and the plots that I tried to make you understand. For more stuff, for more information, you can access internet. You can read book well and properly, thoroughly, and you can just go through the key points mentioned above. And also, if in case of any other doubt, then you can access YouTube videos and you can ping me up. So take care, study well, and stay safe. Thank you.